Hi, welcome to our 3 Minute Therapy podcast. I'm Mick Barry. I help out Dr. Michael Edelstein. This is his podcast. I've been practicing rational motive behavior therapy for well over 30 years, and he likes having me on here because I have become pretty good at it, not as good as him. Nevertheless, we're here to help people in teaching them the ideas of rational motive behavior therapy. And the idea, which is substantiated, is that our emotional problems in life come from the way that we view things, the way we think. Our emotional disturbances, such as depression, rage, anxiety, are not created by the situations that we encounter. They're created by the way we think about the situations we encounter. The physical problems that we encounter, such as difficulty in paying the rent or our health, those are not in our mind. Those are actual problems in the world, but it's the way we view our problems in the world that makes us anxious. And it's even the way that we view our successes in the world that can make us anxious. Often people succeed and then worry about their successes. So it's not the things that happen to us that make us mentally disturbed. It's the way that we view them. And rational motive behavior therapy, or REBT for short, began to be developed by Albert Ellis in the early 1950s, originally called rational therapy, then rational behavior therapy, and then rational emotive therapy, then rational motive behavior therapy. I actually was on board before it became rational motive behavior therapy. Albert Ellis formulated these ideas, employed them, and found them to be exceedingly successful, whereas the other attempts to help people in therapy failed right and left. Michael, is there anything else you'd like to add?
You mistakenly said our rational behavior therapy, then you corrected yourself. Actually, there is an approach to therapy called rational behavior therapy, and that was devised by Maxie Maltzby, and it's close to REBT, but I think it misses a couple of the refinements that REBT offers, like unconditional self-acceptance.
Yeah, and the terms developed in this order: rational therapy, rational motive behavior therapy.
Yeah,
So, anything
right.
else you want to mention about that?
Also, I think when you want to get over problems, it starts with defining your goals, because unless you have a goal, then you don't know whether you have a problem or not. Would you agree, Mick?
Well, I think you're talking about actual problems in the real world. We do know that
Yeah,
we have
right.
a problem if we have a problem with mental disturbance, we can feel depressed or anxiety.
Yeah, and still, although most people would have a goal of not being depressed or anxious, unless they first have that goal, then they know what they're working toward.
Well, that's true. I think, though, that it's almost always the case that people would rather not feel depressed or anxious, that their goal is already established. And they do have the goal of not feeling depressed or anxious, but it's, I think, understood.
Yeah. And you wanted to discuss REBT and illusions today. So do you want to start on that?
Yeah, well, I was watching, I don't know if it was a podcast, but I was watching an interview with Bill Maher and Woody Allen, in which Bill Maher said to Woody Allen, well, there is a quote. He attributed it to Eugene O'Neill, but I've since seen it's attributed to several other people, maybe Dostoevsky, or that the quote is, life without illusions is unbearable, and life with illusions is unpardonable. And Woody Allen agreed. And so Bill Maher and Woody Allen were supporting the validity of this statement. And I personally know that it's a ridiculous statement and it's a stupid thing to respect. Because with rational motive behavior therapy, we learn that recognizing reality, will eradicate our misery, will eradicate our depression and anxiety and rage, and that the thing to do is recognize reality, and then you'll have a chance to be truly and realistically happy. And so there are many people who think that if you recognize reality, you will be depressed and you'll feel miserable. Even in one of Woody Allen's movies, he says, the only person, Diane Keaton says, the only person I know who's truly happy is Bergikoff, the village idiot. That doesn't give people much hope. What's great about REBT is it very accurately gives people the hope that if you look at things realistically, you can be happy.
Yeah, and part of what you quoted, Mick, was life without illusions is unpardonable. So it sounds like one of them is saying that it's good to have illusions or lies or misperceptions uh, or things like that, misimpressions of reality. But I don't see why that's desirable at all, because getting back to goals, you're not going to achieve your goals if you have illusions.
Yeah, and well, the quote is life without illusions is unbearable, which is not true. Because if you get rid of your, well, even with illusions, life is bearable. As you have pointed out to me, life is always bearable unless somebody is stringing you up at a cross and crucifying you, which is about the biggest torture, or you're being thrown into an electric chair. I mean, none of those are even bearing them, even though you're in excruciating agony. But life is always bearable. We're bearing things, we are standing things, no matter what it is we're experiencing. So that is not true. That without illusions, life is unbearable. And then the other part of it is, and life with illusions is unpardonable, meaning that if you're living with illusions, then that's unforgivable and shameful and something you want to avoid at all costs. Well, I remember once you told me, I was in a relationship and falling in love, and you said, well, why don't you just enjoy the fantasy, which is all of life is fantastic. I feel great. And you said, just enjoy the fantasy. Who cares? You don't need to drive it out of your head that that isn't true. Just enjoy it while you got it. You know, you're not going to go ahead and jump off a bridge thinking you can fly. So even life with illusions can be quite pleasant as long as illusions aren't physically harmful.
And as long as at the same time you realize it's an illusion. So when you're
Right.
in love with someone, you often put them on a pedestal, which is fine as long as you realize uh, they're really not on a pedestal. They're imperfect humans like the rest of us.
Right. And I remember an incident with a very good friend of ours who unfortunately is no longer alive, A.O. Sachs, who told me, and he was a big advocate of REBT, but he said, look, I'm not stupid. If I'm lying in bed with a woman and she's gazing into my eyes and tells me, you are just so incredible, I'm not going to try to convince her out of that notion. I'm not going to say, well, you know, I'm quite a fallible human being. I'm just going to let her enjoy that illusion. Why not? Who cares? I'm not stupid. We don't have to be sticklers for REBT so that we drive out illusions 100% of the time.
Yeah, one of the things we focus on in helping people with anxiety, depression, anger, and addictions is their illusions. We normally call them irrational beliefs, their musts and shoulds, their demands, and we show them how they can question, challenge, and contradict their illusions or demands.
Right. And so the reason I wanted to bring this up is that, as you and I both know, there's lots of lousy advice out there. And a lot of it comes from people who think they know what they're talking about on specific topics. And I found this to be, well, I know it to be a really stupid statement. And I want to discourage people from believing that illusions are necessary in order to enjoy your life. In fact, getting rid of your illusions is the way that you have a chance to enjoy your life. And the way I say have a chance, because you may be in an unenjoyable situation. You may be unemployed, and you don't want to kid yourself that this is a good situation. And so you get rid of the illusion that this is actually for my own good, or it's the way God planned it, or whatever else you want to say, making claims about it that are not substantiated, so that you can do something about it and then find a job and be able to feed and house yourself. So when we get rid of our illusions, it allows us to create situations which we are going to be happy in. But if I am not employed, I don't want to be happy about that. That's not a happy state to be in. And I don't want to say that I'm happy to not be employed, but I have a chance to create a situation that I will be happy about.
One area of illusions that people often get a lot of pleasure from, which I don't think is harmful, and that is reading books of fiction. Fiction is another word for illusions, and that could be very enjoyable.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. And in fact, people look at paintings and art all the time, and paintings are an illusion that is not actually the starry night that Van Gogh saw. But the thing about it that's so wonderful, and this is what makes art so powerful, is in the illusion that is created, there is often profound truth that can be recognized because somebody can take the time to look at the painting of Starry Night on the wall and realize I never knew that the stars could be so profoundly beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, when you see a play on stage, it is an illusion that the actors are living in those circumstances. But what is done, if they are really good actors, is finding the truth within those artificial circumstances. So illusions are, you make a good point, illusions themselves are not even that harmful and can be actually quite useful.
Now that we've disillusioned our viewers of harmful illusions, do you have any final words, Mick,
Well,
about
I'm
this?
not. I'm not so sure we're disillusioning them as enlightening them, because the word disillusion, I believe, has connotations of downtrodden and down and feeling sad about something. Oh, I'm disillusioned. I had these idealistic viewpoints and now I'm disillusioned of them. There's a word I'm trying to find, but I'm not locating it. In any case, I think that pretty much sums it up, and maybe solves it up too. And the thing that's wonderful is knowing that reality is our friend. REBT teaches us reality is good. Reality, if we recognize it, can get rid, it's us recognizing reality. Reality doesn't get rid of our depression. Us recognizing reality and embracing reality gets rid of our mental disturbances, whatever they may be. So here for reality.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say that all of reality is good, but I think what you meant is recognizing reality is
Yeah,
good.
yeah, thank you for correcting me. I'm obviously a fallible human, and recognizing reality. Can you think of any instance where recognizing reality is not good?
Not offhand, no,
Yeah, I
because
think
if reality is if what's in reality is negative, then if you recognize it, then there's a possibility you can do something about it.
right, and create a reality that you're happy about and that is good. Yeah, I think we've kind of expanded and explored this to a great extent. We could probably wrap it up.
Yeah, I think we've sewn it up. So I just wanted to wrap it up by thanking Chris Rossini, our tech engineer. Comment below if you have thoughts about what we said, if you have questions or you have recommendations for a subject you'd like us to discuss, or if you'd like to be a guest on the show. I think we have a guest coming up in a few weeks. But if you would like to be a guest, let us know. And you can reach me at my website, 3minutetherapy.com, which is also my book, 3 Minute Therapy, Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. And thanks, Mick, for a great idea. This was your subject, and I think was very interesting. And also subscribe to the 3 Minute Therapy podcast to do what, Mick?
To stay on the rational side of life and the realistic side of life, and to live with illusions when you're aware they're illusions and they're fun and don't hurt you at all.